So Mom, I heard that you heard some organ music. What was all that about?
Well, it was organ music and many voices singing on part of it. I had asked God for a sign about my moving into Craig's and all, and leaving my house that I loved so much because it was right by the church, and I could walk to church every time anything happened. And God had said that there was a reason that He wanted me to move, that people would be helped by my moving. And I said, could you give me a sign? And then it was a while. And then one morning I heard the most beautiful organ music. It didn't sound like it was in my head. It sounded like it was outside. And I went outside. I thought the lady next door must play the organ music. But I heard it again in the evening, and the songs that was being played, I knew all the words because I had sang them for about 80 years. And so I was enjoying, it was all religious music. Like, I started later writing down the names of the songs that were sung. And then, for at least 10 days, I kept hearing music. Craig said, when I was outside, I said, Craig, do you hear the music? And he said, no. Too long? I talked.
Look at me.
Oh. And
she doesn't have to.
I said, he said, no, there's no music, Mom. I said, it's beautiful, and I hear it, and I'm enjoying it. Well, then we went up on a long ride up, because Sarah was going to have her baby. And on the way up there, I heard the same music in the car. And I said, oh, you got a tape on, and it's the same music I've been hearing. And he said, Mom, there's no radio or tape on in the car. Coming back, I heard it in the car again. And then I began every day, different times in the day, or sometimes if I woke up in the middle of the night, I heard this beautiful music. And by then, there was singing with a lot of the songs, like many voices singing. And it reminded me a lot of heaven. There was one song that I didn't know. I had never heard. And that one was like it came straight from heaven. And it went, glory, 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 glory. And then it said, in Jesus' name. And then it would repeat it over and over. And it sounded so beautiful. And heaven seemed so close. Well, after about 10 days, the music finally stopped, except once in a while I would hear one of the songs over again. And then I hadn't heard it for quite a while. But the other day I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard one song over and over. And it was where He leads me, I will follow. I'll go with Him all the way. And it was so pretty. And now I enjoyed the music, and I wrote down a lot of the songs, and I like to look in my book and think about the songs that I heard. And I am glad I heard music, and I don't understand it except that God blessed me, and He told me, where I lead you, you follow, and everything will be all right. And so I'm going to follow Him. If He tells me to move again, I'll follow, but I hope not. I don't want to pack anymore. And I appreciate Craig and Val letting me live here, and Dustin likes living in my house. And I miss my flowers, so I'm planting flowers here. I love flowers. That's
well. Thank you, Mom, for that wonderful story.
That wasn't a sermon.
No, it's a beautiful story, though.
It was just a story.
Yes, it was a beautiful story.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I said, thank you for the wonderful story, Mom.
Dad had a better one.
What was that?
Part 2.
About heaven.
Okay.
You want to hear?
Sure.
when he was very, very ill in his hospital bed in the family room, I would go in at night before I went to sleep and tell him good night. And he said, I had a beautiful dream. He said, would you like to hear it? And I said, all right. He said, I dreamed that I was walking with a crowd of people, and we were going down a path towards the gates of heaven. And I got tired, and I sat down on a rock. Jesus was leading the people. I couldn't see him, but I heard his voice telling the people, wait, somebody's missing. Oh, there he is, sitting over there on the rock. He's been very sick, and he's wondering why I haven't healed him. But when he walks through, we'll wait for him. And then when we all walk together through the gates of heaven, he said, he'll know why I didn't heal him. Well, when he walked through the gates of heaven with Jesus, the angels were singing, because in the Bible it says when anybody gives their heart to God, angels sing in heaven. And his son down on earth had just stood by his bed and said, Dad, I'll meet you in heaven. And then he said the prayer, Dear Jesus, please forgive all my sins and come into my heart and help me with the guilt. And then he had the most wonderful experience of becoming a Christian. Well, the angels were singing in heaven when Dad walked through the gate, because his son had just given his heart to God on earth. And his illness had helped his son to realize that he needed what his dad had. And so I thought that was really a good story that Dad told me just before he died.
Why, thank you, Mother.
Huh?
Thank you for the wonderful story. Now I'm going to stop the video now.
Okay.